Hello everyone, Darko2012 here with Global Government News, and I'm reading an article titled Professors Aid Army with Research. And this is coming out of the Indiana Daily Student from January 30th, 2010. And it says, IU statistics professor Stanley Wasserman points at the map of the celebrity Twitter ecosystem from the New York Times that he's tacked to his bulletin board. Networks are hot, he says. Social networks such as Facebook and Twitter have pervaded almost every aspect of our society. They help us make friends, get jobs, and now, thanks to the new military effort, they could help us catch terrorists. The project, sponsored by the U.S. Army, will urge researchers, including 2 professors at IU, to come up with new ways to analyze data surrounding networks. The project is designed to aid military operations, including anti-terrorism efforts, and to explain how knowledge is spread between peers in the modern military, according to the IU press release. They want to be able to understand networks better. All kinds of networks, said Wasserman, one of the IU professors of the team. Quote, to understand how people interact and how individuals are connected. The Army Research Laboratory project is a $35.5 million collaboration that involves researchers from 10 different universities and organizations nationwide and will span 10 years according to the same release. And this is the military-industrial complex. I don't want to go all into it now. I'm going to finish this article and show you another article. But this is the military-industrial complex. This is your tax dollars being used to create anything that will help the military-industrial complex. And it goes through research universities, which get grants, again, from tax dollars, and then these government agencies use your tax dollars to test them, to do test runs, and then eventually it'll be used against you. This grant project, that's the fascist economy. This grant project is very unique, said Alessandro, I'm not going to pronounce that last name, the second IU researcher. We will reevaluate how to progress every year. It will involve a lot of recalibration and close monitoring from the Army. The 2 IU professors, Wasserman, chairman of the Department of Statistics, and Vespignani, professor in the School of Informatics and Computing. I didn't even know there was what that is, but have received grants. Have received grants to work on the project. $850,000, almost $1 million, for the first 5 years, and a similar amount for the next 5. Other universities include, of course, Harvard and MIT, and the University of Notre Dame. So I see they use the best and the brightest to create these weapons. That's what they are, pretty much. And I'll link to another article here. According to Wasserman, the development of the project has been 3 years in the making and was inspired when the Army decided it needed help interpreting mass amounts of data, which is probably a bunch of crap. DARPA is the one that's in charge of it, and then the Pentagon. Wasserman said January 10th, New York Times article, military is awash in data from the drones. Pinpoints the military's current problem that spawned this project, an overload of data producing technology and a lack of efficient means to interpret it. When they say interpret it, they mean manage it, to control it, right? I just read a whole DOD, Department of Defense document which talks about surprises and certain surprises, and so the military, they created, right? The military, they created the internet, ARPANET, DARPA, right? And so they have to be able to control it and manage it, but they use it to collect information. It's an intelligence gathering apparatus, so that you voluntarily give up all this intelligence to your rulers, to your slave masters. And there we go. He said that the military needs to know what type of data to look at, which types of data are associated with each other, and they need software that can analyze this. A lot of it has been who is connected to whom. Wasserman said, who mentions who in particular blogs and how information gets percolated through different channels of communication, which I said, like as Facebook, who knows who, right? That's why I recommend to anybody out there who uses Facebook to just be careful what the hell you put on there. Obama even, said, he told last year, like Bill Gates, to be careful when they were talking to the children for whatever Education Day or whatever that was, that be careful what you write on Facebook because it could be used against you. And that's what I believe. So I don't fill out the IQ tests, those stupid little IQ tests that everybody asks you, and all those little games and little things that they ask you, like who's your relative, who's this. It's all going into a database, people. So because Facebook was, I know this for a fact because I did. There's a video on YouTube that connects Facebook with the CIA and how it was actually created. And yes, they used college students' technology, but then it was funded, and the people that funded it and brought it to where it is now were connected to DARPA and the CIA. So you can do your own research on that. There are probably more people at IU doing research on networks than anywhere else in the nation. The dean of the IU School of Informatics, Robert Schnabel, commended the program as well. In the case that the IU has a strong program in the network research, he said, it is interesting how many different areas network research can be involved in, very interdisciplinary. Research for the project is set to begin any day as the first year plan is being finalized. I look forward to starting to work with my colleagues, to interact with them, and to work on data. It is an interdisciplinary collaboration, and the study is crucial for the understanding of our world. So you have, of course, the professors doing the private sector research for the military-industrial complex. And so we go to this article right here, which is from December 4th, 2009, from CNN, Nationwide Balloon Hunt Contest Test Online Networking. Of course, this was the balloon contest, which involved DARPA and MIT, the best and the brightest. And of course, it was never really meant to let the ordinary citizens win the prize money, because they had a bunch of groups that went around and used Facebook and social networking sites to report where all the balloons are. But what happened, I'm just summarizing it up for you, and I'll post this link, you can read it yourself, was that the MIT, which obviously is very close to the government and the military-industrial complex, using our tax money to create weapons to be used against us, they basically created their own little database and their own website where they bribed people to go out and report the balloons to them via Facebook on their website. And so MIT won, in essence. Then that's who was supposed to win. It was no big surprise. They were just testing the public and to gauge and see how their little tools were working, and it worked quite well. I think they did it within like a couple hours, not a couple hours, but within like 10 hours. Here we go. On Saturday, thousands of people nationwide will search the skies in a high-tech scavenger hunt designed to test how far-flung groups can use the internet and technology to work together. The DARPA Network Challenge calls on groups to pinpoint the locations of 10 weather balloons around the country, with a $40,000 prize going to the first team to find them all. DARPA, which stands for Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, is the U.S. military's research arm. This year's contest is designed to test the way social networking, crowdsourcing, or lesser-known web techniques can help accomplish large-scale, time-critical tasks. And let's see. It says it is an opportunity to reach out to groups that are very comfortable with social networking. Reach out to those some groups. They may actually come up with some great ideas for the future. The contest is the latest in a series that the agency has been hosting since 2004. And it says 8-foot wide balloons will be released to the public. They're not going to be out in the middle of nowhere. They're going to be near places where there's traffic. And then he says the balloons will be tethered and remain aloft for at least 6 hours. It says the challenge was announced October 29th, 40 years after the first message was sent on the ARPANET, the precursor to the internet. DARPA hopes the contest will advance the way the military communicates and coordinates activities among multiple